if you believe in morality and if you believe in logic, which you essentially have to, there's no getting around believing in logic. But like inherently, by their very nature, if you believe in morality and you accept logic, logic and morality cannot be altered by social constructs, right? Like there's just no way you can't, there's nothing that we could decide. Like if you, let's say like basic logic, right? Like the law of non-contradiction, okay? So if I were to say to you, I do not exist, what's the problem with that statement? Well, it's a self-detonating statement. It's a contradiction. You said the word I, and then you claim you didn't exist. You acknowledged what you were, and then it said you didn't exist. So that assertion falls apart because it's logically incoherent. It's contradictory, okay? Now, people cannot get together and say, let's have a vote on whether a self-contradicting statement is logically sound. It doesn't matter if I say, well, no, I'm going to call you senator, and I'm going to call you president, and I'm going to call you, Supreme Court justice, and you guys get to say that the rules of logic are different now. Like if anyone were to ever propose that, you'd immediately go like, no, you're misunderstanding how logic works. You're misunderstanding how government works. A social construct cannot change things that are objective reality. Like you don't get to do that any more than we'd get to hold like a referendum on gravity. It doesn't matter how you vote. Like gravity exists regardless, okay? So if you understand that, like definitionally, you cannot, there is no such thing, as I said on Piers Morgan the other day, as macro and micro morality. You can't say like it would be immoral to do it here, but it's moral to do it there, any more than you could say like, raping someone or murdering someone is immoral in North America, but it's morally accepted in sub-Saharan Africa. Like that just doesn't make any sense. It's a contradiction. These things are, if you believe in morality, then by its very nature, it has to transcend all of these things, right? And particularly if you're a religious person who believes in morality, then like if God is judging us based on what we do morally, it doesn't make any sense that God would go, unless you guys get together and form an organization, and then it's totally different. And obviously, I think this has something to do with the kind of the religion of statism, which is just, there's really no other way to describe it. I know I'm going back to my libertarian roots on this one, but that really is it. I mean, if any other organization were to get together, if Walmart was just like, well, we can murder people. Like because we're Walmart. Obviously, you can't do it, but we can do it because we're Walmart. I mean, we're this great big company. Everybody would see through that immediately as just being preposterous. Like, obviously, that's not, no, you're just doing the same thing. You're just a bigger organization. Yet somehow when governments get involved, because people in their head have this like weird concept of what governments are. I mean, myself included, I'm guilty of this, but we will constantly use, as Douglas Murray called me out for doing kind of, although he didn't mean it like this, we'll say we invaded Iraq, right? Like we did that, but we didn't, like a bunch of criminals in DC did. It's not us, but you think of like the nation and the nation state almost as being the same thing. That's us. That's America. But when we're talking about the government, we're not talking about America. We're not talking about the hills or the roads or the people or the tradition or the culture or any of that. Typically, you're talking about the most corrupt members of our society who hold political power. And so with that kind of in mind as the backdrop, what I had said on Joe Rogan's podcast, and by the way, people who listen to the show know I've been saying this stuff for years. It's just I happen to say it on a big platform and a big debate. But it was specifically arguing with Douglas Murray over the term intentional, because he said Israel is unintentionally killing civilians. And I was like, no, that's bullshit. And in the same sense that if the example I used, which I've used many times before, but if somebody broke into your property and killed a few of your family members and then went back to their house and you tracked them back to their house and then you just blew up the building and you went, hey, no, we didn't mean to kill all those other people in the building. I mean, we knew they were there. We knew they would die as a result of us blowing up this building, but we just wanted to get that bad guy. The others were like collateral damage. Well, like in any domestic situation, obviously, that you'd be charged with first-degree murder, but I'm not making an appeal to the law. I'm saying that morally speaking, as human beings, we would all go, no, that is intentional. You don't get to just say it's not intentional. If you knew there were women and children who were going to die as a result of this and you did it anyway, then you did it intentionally. Okay, so the essence of the point is that the concept of intentionality doesn't change because a government's doing it and because it's being done in another country. Now, if you want to attempt to justify the policy, okay. But you don't get to say that the laws of logic and the laws of morals don't apply anymore. And so when I'm debating these guys, or when I was debating this guy on Piers Morgan yesterday, he just kept responding to this with, but you don't understand international law. You don't understand the laws of war. You don't understand. And it's like, no. You don't understand my point. These things are all social constructs. And fine, there might be some benefit to some and there might be some flaws in them, but that has nothing to do with the point that I'm making. This is a fundamental reality